Hi, Kelly Eckholt here to update you with the key events of the week. So this week there wasn't any key economic data out in New Zealand, which is great news since my team is very busy updating our economic forecasts ahead of the release of our new economic overview next week. Rather, the focus was what was going on internationally, and in particular changing risk attitudes coming out of the terrible events unfolding in the Middle East, but also important commentary coming out of the central banks in Canada, the United States and the Euro area. But what I'm going to really focus on here is some of the news coming out of Australia, since that's particularly relevant to New Zealand economy and markets. And there, the focus has been on the markets increasingly coming to the view that there could be another rate increase coming from the Reserve Bank of Australia in their meeting next month. This was all kicked off earlier in the week by some commentary by the new central bank governor, who suggested that the RBA had limited tolerance for upside surprises for the economic outlook from here. So this really raised the stakes for the outcome of the September quarter CPI data, which was released last week, which indeed showed that inflation pressures were stronger than the Reserve Bank of Australia and markets expected. So this has left markets on a knife edge, where they're thinking that there's maybe a 50-50 chance of a rate rise at the next meeting. And most bank economists, including those at Westpac, anticipate that there's going to be at least one more rate increase from the RBA this year. There's some interesting parallels about what's going on in Australia to what's been going on in New Zealand. In particular, both countries have relatively strong core inflation pressures driven by strong services sector inflation, and both countries have very strong housing markets driven by strong inward migration and population growth. So let's see how all this pans out. I'll be back to talk to you next week about the key messages from our new economic overview.